Statelessness, a key driver of forced displacement, understanding statelessness and its consequences. Statelessness refers to the condition of not being legally recognized as a national by any country. Stateless individuals live without any formal citizenship, which means they are excluded from the rights and protections that states typically grant their citizens. This legal void renders them invisible to the law and society, denying them access to essential services such as healthcare, education, housing, employment, and freedom of movement. Stateless people often live in the shadows, unable to vote, own property, or even register the birth of a child. Their lives are marked by systemic exclusion and uncertainty, and in many cases, the denial of legal identity is passed down from one generation to the next. The absence of legal status leaves stateless individuals particularly vulnerable to exploitation, abuse, and discrimination. Without identity documents, they are often at risk of arbitrary arrest, detention, or deportation. Their ability to travel, marry legally, or seek protection across borders is severely limited. Statelessness is rarely accidental. It is often the result of discriminatory nationality laws, state collapse, colonial legacies, or targeted exclusion of minority groups. These factors make statelessness not only a legal issue but also a profound humanitarian crisis. In many cases, stateless people are compelled to flee their countries or communities not due to war or natural disasters, but because their very existence is criminalized or denied. The result is forced displacement driven not by visible conflict but by the silent violence of legal erasure and social abandonment. The plight of the Rohingya people in Myanmar is one of the most tragic and well-known examples of statelessness leading to mass displacement. Historically residing in Myanmar's Rakhine state, the Rohingya are a Muslim minority who were stripped of citizenship by the 1982 citizenship law, which excluded them from the list of recognized ethnic groups. This legal exclusion made the Rohingya stateless and denied them access to basic rights, including health care, education, employment, and freedom of movement. They were effectively confined to ghettos and subject to constant surveillance, forced labor, and arbitrary restrictions. Over the decades, they became victims of systemic persecution, with violence intensifying in 2017 when the Myanmar military launched so-called clearance operations following attacks by a small militant group. These operations involved mass killings, sexual violence, and the destruction of entire villages, these acts that have been labeled by the United Nations as crimes against humanity and possible genocide. Another stark example is the Bidun community in Kuwait. The Bidun, whose name derives from the Arabic term meaning without, are a stateless Arab population who have lived in Kuwait for generations, often since before the country's independence. Despite these deep-rooted ties, the Kuwaiti government classifies them as illegal residents, denying them citizenship and excluding them from formal employment, state healthcare, and education. The lack of legal documentation prevents Bidun individuals from obtaining passports or national ID cards, significantly restricting their freedom of movement and access to justice. The consequences of inherited statelessness are especially severe for children. Many nationality laws around the world fail to guarantee citizenship to children born to stateless parents, perpetuating a cycle of legal exclusion. Stateless children often grow up without access to schooling or healthcare and are at heightened risk of exploitation, child labor, early marriage, and trafficking. They come of age without the ability to prove who they are or where they belong, facing a future shaped by uncertainty and marginalization. Globally, the UNHCR estimates that at least 4.4 million people are stateless, though the actual number may be much higher due to underreporting. Statelessness is both a cause and a consequence of displacement. People flee in search of rights and recognition they are denied at home, and yet in displacement, their lack of legal identity often continues to haunt them. They are overlooked in humanitarian response systems and are frequently excluded from refugee protections, resettlement programs, and legal pathways to citizenship. Ending statelessness requires bold legal reforms and inclusive citizenship policies. This includes abolishing discriminatory nationality laws, ensuring every child is registered at birth and granted a nationality, and protecting the rights of stateless individuals to participate fully in society. It also demands international cooperation, political will, and sustained advocacy. Without these efforts, statelessness will remain a silent engine of forced displacement, pushing countless people to flee not from bombs or natural disasters, but from a lifelong denial of their identity and humanity.